Okay. Can I do fancy crap? Am I allowed to do like unreasonably fancy stuff and see if it works? Uh, so there's a bunch of symmetries of this grid, right? Um, like there's a this, this. Well, let me call these like sigma and tau or something. And then there's like 180-degree rotation. So sigma tau. So, it's sort of like there's this symmetry kind of thing, where they can. I'm trying to not use the words group orbit because that would be a disservice to people who then think that's an excuse for not solving the problem. But yeah, I think the point is something like the possible configurations naturally fall into like groups of 1, 2, and 4. And because I only care about mod 2, I only care about the ones that are 1. So I only care about rectangles for which, like, choices of these, rectangle partitions such that it's symmetric around both axes. So what that means is, unfortunately, I don't know if that actually helps me that much. So, like, for example, I can do this, and then the symmetry means I have to do that. But it's a little more complicated than that because you can also have like stuff like wait, actually, what was I trying to say? Like this it's a little hard to draw a rectangle. Then the way that okay. Like this is also a valid symmetric thing where this is symmetric both ways. So Hmm. Yeah, so when I add the condition of like this flipping thing, does it actually make it easier to count? I'm not sure if it does. Because like it's the condition is still like a little awkward. Um Yeah, the other possibility is that if I wanted to, instead of like, there's other different kinds of ways to pair up things. Like, well, actually, none of those seem particularly good though. Okay, so if I have like a like 2 by 2n, like this, I'm not convinced there's a super good pairing argument because the number of ways to do this is actually just a formula, right? Like this is like, if I have 2 by 2n, it's like 2n minus 1 double factorial. It's like I decide where I want to put this sucker. There's like at 2n minus 1 ways to do that. And then, you put the next one down and it's like, something. So So I know how to do 2 by 2n. Do I know how to do 4 by 2n? Well, okay, so for a 4 by 2n, or somehow like this left edge, I can talk about pairing in a meaningful way, right? Like I can, you know, you start by deciding like, okay, maybe like this, and then everything's the same up to permutation. So actually, without loss of generality, I think you can just assume, and again, this is all, you multiply by 2m minus 1 factorial for this, but I can assume that like the initial edge set is like that. And then again, they all go out to some... whatever, there's like 2n of these. Okay, so I guess now there's 2n minus 1, really. And... I don't really care. So, okay, how many things are there? I'm picking from like 2n minus 1, like to the power of something. I don't really care what. But then like a lot of those cases will have the same number, right? Like anytime I have the, like it's like, if I do this, for example, that's the same count as if I had gone... Wait, yeah, actually a lot of these counts... Okay, I have to think this through. I feel like there's some... Like, this thing is the same mod as if I had gone, like, this. So... Like, I toggled the top two. So I'm looking for, among these 2n minus 1 things, like, I pick an ordered sequence, and then, like, a bunch of the terms of that ordered sequence are the same. So... Does that just work? I feel like this just works. I feel like what you do is, like, if the top two rectangles have the same height... Well, actually, yeah, now if I should be bringing in group orbits at any time, it should be now, right? Like, what are the... If I have sequences like this, what are the possible, like, number of orbits? Yeah, I think you only get the straight lines. You should only get... The only ones that aren't in... It's like a quotient of Sn modulo... Or, sorry, this should be M. Let me get this right. It's like a quotient of Sn modulo a product of, like, smaller s's, like S. This notation's really cramming. I'm sorry. I'm making stuff up. But I think the point is that it's like, No, wait. I don't want to do it this way, I think. Wait, hang on. Like, okay. This, like... Ah, frick. No, there are actually three. Sorry, this is a bad idea. Like... what am I trying to say? Like this thing is the same as this thing, which is the same as like this thing. And there are actually 3 of them, which is odd. For a moment I thought they would all be even, but I don't think that's the case. So okay, that's fine. But okay, hear me out. All right, this is also the same as like if there are 2, like it's also the same as if I did like yellow, yeah, like I was doing like 2 and 1, but you can go the other way. So it's just, I feel like it should always be even-ish. Like, can you actually get it to be odd? I don't think it's ever odd. But I guess the question is, am I exploiting too much symmetry? Actually, I think, so I've been doing both up, down, and left, right, but I think I should just do left, right, right? Like what I do is I consider the, okay, here, this way it's, I think this way will work. Like this thing is the same as the number of ways to do it with like these 2 swapped. Right. And in general, the number of distinct values, if you have like k distinct columns, then you get like k factorial. Right? Oh god, wait. Right? This doesn't work. So it's like, so I'm not going to permute up, down at all. I'm only going to permute left, right. And then when I do this, the only things that remain are the odd ones. And then you can induct down, because you get 2n-1 copies of... Yeah, I think this should work. Because k factorial is odd exactly when k equals 1. And so the permutation, yeah, I think it's easier if you don't do left. I think if it's too confusing if you do left, right, and doesn't do exactly what you want. But if you do like a left, right, I think it's okay. So don't swap up, down, but swap left, right. And that should work. Does that work? Can someone yell at me if I'm being stupid? This is JMO 2. I don't think a single person has done the same thing as you are attempting. Okay, am I stupid? I don't see the mistake though, like... Am I a stupid head? I also do not understand what you are attempting. Okay, that's bad. Um, so, like, okay, I'll introduce notation, okay? Like f2m to n is like the number of ways. And the first thing you do is you do a bunch of logs on the leftmost column because all of those are in distinct pairs. So this is 2m minus 1 times the number of assignments that with the property that like something happens. And then so you fix the left column here, right? You fix this choice and then you sum over the number of ways like for these m things, it's really like a function from m into 2n minus 1. Where it's like I'm summing like the number of ways if I put this rectangle, this rectangle, this rectangle, whatever. So you pick like the right-hand sides of the thing, right? I agree I might be overthinking it, but my claim is that this is a solution. Like, I'm not claiming that this is an idea. Like, I think this is supposed to just work. Like, I think this works. Anyway, so this is like some number of ways. But the idea is that two functions, like, you can pair like these things, like two functions we'll say are we can swap the output values of the functions. So like this picture should have the same number of ways as this picture, where all I've done is swap like the third and fourth column. And in general, if you look at the range of the function, if the range has k elements, then that term appears k factorial times. So then all of this stuff mod 2 will die except for the constant functions, which is then like, yeah, so the point is like plus even. And then after that, it's like dropped by 2. I think this is just true, right? Am I high? Like, you guys are telling me that no one has done anything like this, but I also, like, if this works, I feel like someone else should have come up with something like this too. Right? Maybe? That gives an even value? What do you mean that gives an even value? Should that be 2? Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2 minus 1 double factorial. Wait, this should work, right? Is this not a solution? Like, also, am I explaining myself that badly? It's also kind of overkill. Okay, like, okay, I mean, I believe you because I've been thinking about this problem for a whopping like 20 minutes, but okay, you know what? It's fine. Is there at least one person who can like confirm that I'm not just being dumb? Because I feel like this is supposed to work. Like it seems like this should just work, right? Horizontal and vertical involutions? The heck? Well, the idea is that like I'm after you fix the left column, I'm doing casework on the number of the remaining 2n minus 1 columns which appear, like are the endpoint of some rectangle. And the point is that if there are like this is the example where k equals 2, where they come in like pairs, right? Like the configurations for which there are exactly 2 columns used, like this guy and this guy, come in groups of k factor 2 factorial. And then similarly, in general, if there are k columns used, they should come in groups of k factorial. So all of those things are even and they die. And so I only care about k equals 1. And then, oh sorry, I left out a multiplier of like some 2n minus 1 or whatever. So this works, right? Okay, cool. All right, great. I'm not crazy. All right.